Hey guys, it's Valbjorn back again with another tutorial. This time talking about how to do your own rivets for your minis. This is a technique I discovered through another YouTuber named Night Shift. He's a scale modeler that does tanks, and he discovered it through someone else who probably discovered it through someone else. So I'm just relaying the info and showing you how I do it and where I apply it. I've got some rivets going across this guy's chest and some on his pauldron and on his little vambrace or gauntlet guard or whatever you want to call this piece of armor. You can mix and match it with some battle damage. I've got one rivet popped off with a scratch going across there, kind of adding a lot of visual interest to an area that you want to kind of draw attention to. So you can really go crazy. Like this guy, I did a whole leg of him, and just kind of really spice it up. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need is a pewter sheet. I ordered this through Greenstuff World. You can get it from their website, or I think I got mine on eBay, but you're going to get a piece a lot bigger than this. This is just a small clipping from it. You're going to be able to make a lot of rivets out of it. The next thing is a soft piece of silicone. This is from a soldering backer pad or like a silicone organizer. If you do soldering on your desk, this is recommended to be used to not burn your desk, that type of thing. So that's what you can kind of search: soldering organizer or silicone pad or something like that, and you'll get something. But we're looking for really soft rubber to use as a backer for when we punch out these rivets. Next thing you're going to need is a small drill bit. This is number 77 drill bit or something like that. It's really small, but if you get a set of drill bits, just type in tiny hobby drill bits, or I'm not sure. They're out there. But this is the smallest one from the kit, but we'll be using the back of the drill bit as a punch. Then I like to use a couple of toothpicks. I keep one designated for clean and the other designated dirty, which will be for your super glue application, and the clean one will be for the rivet application. Then I use a tray, which is my super glue graveyard. It's just a pickle lid. It's where I put my dab of super glue that I'll be using as a reservoir to kind of dip out of, so I'll just leave it in the frame here. And then for glue, there's a couple options. There's the Gorilla Super Glue Gel, which I really like. Dries very quickly. It has a very kind of a thick gel-like consistency. And then I've seen Night Shift, I think, uses the AK Black Widow stuff. And what's great about this is it dries slow, so you have some time to kind of push it around and make it where you want it. And you can also see the dab of glue on there really easily. But for whatever reason, I just have more luck with the Gorilla Glue, so I'm going to use that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make a plan. And if you need to draw out, kind of space it out with a little pencil mark, go ahead and do that. You don't want to get glue and rivets on and then realize later that they're not going to be spaced out right and they're not going to look good. So I've actually started his gauntlet here. I'm going to fill it out similar to the other guy's gauntlet, just for continuity. So we're going to just continue working on that part right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay the pewter over the top of the silicone, grab the drill bit, and use the back of it. Hold it tight in your fingers and just start punching out rivets. It's pretty satisfying. You'll hear them punch through. It's easy to kind of let the bit dive into your thumb, so don't let that happen. You may have to kind of coax them out through the holes a little bit, but once they're out, you'll see what you got. So here we have a whole little mess of them. And now it's important to remember that they have an orientation to them. So that's the part of the softness of the silicone that is kind of the magic behind the whole process, is when you're punching it out, the silicone is going to be soft enough, it's going to give it a convex shape. And so I'm going to use my toothpick and just kind of flip them over so you can see. Hopefully you can see it. They'll have a dome-like shape on the back where you've punched them out into the soft rubber. So flip these over and we got ourselves a nice little pile of rivets. Set that down. Keep my clean toothpick handy and grab my glue applicator. And I like to keep a piece of 220 sandpaper on my desk just in case I need to re-clean the end of this toothpick. If it's got too much glue on it, I can kind of, resharpen it if I need to. So I'm going to use some of the Gorilla Super Glue, give it a good shake. Add me a little dab of glue on my reservoir here. And we've got our plan. So there's going to be 3 across the back and 3 across the front. So I'm going to put a dab of glue right here. So we're going to be applying it with this toothpick. Grab just a little bit of glue. That's what I really love about this super glue gel, is it creates this bubble. And so this is where the fine motor skills are going to come in. We're going to brace all of our arms together. We're going to brace our hands together. And we're just going to use a lever motion to apply a tiny little dab exactly where we want it. And you don't want too much. So it's really important to get a tiny little dab. So now that I've got my glue in place, I'm going to use my clean toothpick. I'm going to moisten it with some spit, or you can use a sponge with some water if you don't want to get your mouth involved. And you're just going to touch one of the rivets, and that moisture from the toothpick will pick it up. And you're going to ever so carefully place it right on top of that glue. And once it's on top, you can give it a little push. And there is a small window where you can kind of push it to where you want it to be, but this particular super glue gel does set up quick, so you do want to keep that in mind. And once you have it pushed in place, that sucker's on there, so we'll leave that to cure and we'll move on to the next one. That's what's good about the Black Widow stuff, is you do have more time, but I just have more luck with the Gorilla Glue for whatever reason. So set the guy down. Gonna grab our little glue applicator, dip back into our reservoir, put the next dot on. Real careful to do a tiny little dot. If you put too much glue, it will squish out the sides and won't look clean. Re-moisten the toothpick. Grab a rivet. Lay it right on top of that glue dab. Push it down. Ooh, it moved a little. That one may not have cured just right, but we'll see. There's kind of a magic window with super glue whether or not it's going to work. But I think it might be all right. If not, you can just knock it off there and scrape it clean again with a little X-Acto or a little piece of sandpaper and go after it again. But that's our method. Just pretty methodical, it's really straightforward. So I hope this helps you guys out. If you can, like and subscribe. It helps me out. It keeps me motivated. I really appreciate all you guys. I love teaching people how to learn. So chime in if you have any questions. I'm more active on Instagram than I am on YouTube. Look me up at Valbjorn. I'll put the link down below. Feel free to make some comments. I'll get back to you when I can. Yeah, don't be shy. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace.